Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Prowler only. Last time we took on Grimclaw Tigrex G5. Hopefully I can do it right. Last time I did not. I said we took on Elderfrost when it was actually Nightcloak. Trying not to call it Hazewing once more. This time we're going to be taking on Dreadqueen Rathian G5. This is an okay quest. So it's similar in regards to monsters with Dreadqueen or Dreadking, I believe. So we're going to have a Hyper Astalos instead of a Bolt Reaver, and then I think just a Dreadking, regular Dreadking. We'll go ahead and look at that. Yeah, actually it's not even a Hyper, so that's even better. We don't have to deal with Hyper health pools, which is very nice. Go ahead and take the quest. Dragon Element, I'll talk about it later, but is going to be our best element. Alright, we are back at the Sanctuary. We start with Dreadking, so that's great. We get to really just start using our Dragon Element. Dragon Element is not great against Astalos. In fact, it's pretty bad. You have very little advantage of using it over really anything else, I guess, besides Electric, which is, you know, its own element, so it's completely immune to it. But Dreadqueen and Dreadking are both so weak to it, and using Ice Element is not going to be a compromise that we want to make for the other two monsters. So I do like this better. Poison is another thing where normally on a 3-monster quest it might be pretty good, but here specifically, since Rathalos and Rathian are kind of poison element type monsters, at the very least I can use it. They're going to be a little bit more resistant to it, though I believe it's actually the same as Astalos. So not going to be something like against Elderfrost or regular Gammoth, where they're really particularly weak against it. We're going to take that fireball right to the face. We're going to hopefully get our piercing boomerangs off. I'm a little rusty, so this is going to be a bit rough, but I did practice this hunt a while ago. I want to say it took about 40 minutes, I think, something like that. So not too terrible. Of course, it'll take me a lot longer here since I am not in the flow, but should be fine. He enraged, so we went up into the air. There's a homing talon. We're going to throw this out. Expect him to probably do a fireball. There's a powder stone, so we'll throw a couple of boomerangs out here and try to just evade out of the way. We're going to try to follow our rule of thumb we came up with last time. Didn't come up with it, just kind of a general rule of thumb. If the monster's looking at us, we're not going to attack. We're going to just try to get out of its line of sight and force it to head turn, or just, you know, get out of its range of attacks and not be stuck in an attack animation. Those flame bots, like I said before with regular Dreadking G5, are very large, so you don't want to, you know, completely disregard them or expect them to not hit you if you're at range, because they do have a bit of range on them. They're not like compared to the EX. If you've ever done the EX Dreadking hunt, it's particularly large there, but that's just because the hunt is specifically designed to have larger projectiles and elemental attacks. Out to the right here. I guess technically not only elemental attacks, some other attacks are just really large as well. Depends on if you count Grimclaw's steam attacks as element or not. I don't think they are. I think they're non-element. Alright, a couple of boomerangs there. I'm low on health here. I do need to slow down because I am just taking a lot of damage that I really shouldn't be. This is a very simple opener, and especially since we get most of this monster's health away before Astalos comes in, I think we'd probably rather have Astalos be the first monster. That way we can get rid of it pretty quickly. However, it's not the end of the world. They are going to be a bit rough together because they are both very ranged monsters, and Astalos can also close a lot of distance quickly, similar to Barioth. Not quite as close to Barioth, though. Barioth is particularly special in that regard. We're going to go for the wings. Wings aren't a great hit zone, but remember, if you want to flash the monster out of the air, you have to break at least one wing. And the only really good hit zone is the face once you break it. And it takes quite a while to get that off. We probably will get it just through clipping damage and whatnot. But until that happens, the wings are going to be decent enough for damage at the very least. Hopefully that doesn't hit me. I think his leg hit me, so not too much damage, just a flinch damage. Or trample damage is what it's called. Alright, ran out of piercing, so we're going to try to reapply that. We're going to wait and see what he does here. Doing a very slow powder stone fireball so we can get out of the way of it. Launches an attack. He's going to talon dive there. Was a little greedy of me to not just dodge and try to get the adept off, but he didn't reach us. It's a weird angle for him to actually grab at. I'm going to wait and see what he did. I think he's going to land maybe. Nope. He's doing a little close range fireball. Or flamethrower, I guess? I don't know. Alright. Keep going for the tail here since it is fairly low, though we will be hitting the wings quite a bit just because they're so large. I'm expecting him to land at some point and do his fire bot combo, but he's not really doing that. He's doing his little talon dive here. It's the main charge one where he goes up into the air to do it. All right, here comes a fireball I can dodge. That's good. Give me some distance to work with. There we go. We can actually start shooting some stuff out at him now. 2 boomerangs there. Dodge with that. I was out of range, so I don't actually get hit by it, which is good. Keep going for the tail. Just fireball backwards, so we'll actually punish this. Flame bot. Getting under him. Go behind him. Force him to head turn unless he goes into the air. He can do that. I'm not going to throw a Mega Boomerang here, though it is very similar to Grimclaw, where it's a very large opening for you to actually get something very strong off. Might not be quite Brimstone charge levels of opening to be able to get it off, but it is still enough for your Mega Boomerang to get out and safely evade the next attack that comes out or whatnot. Honestly, I'm favoring the tail quite a bit here, just because we're in a good position to attack it. It might just depend on how you feel on what your positioning is going to be sometimes. If you're really into it, you probably take a consistent direction, but, you know, if you feel a little loose, you might just end up in weird spots sometimes that you're not used to. It does make dodging a little bit more different. I'm going to say more difficult, because it is different. Just depends on the monster, really, if they punish poor positioning or whatnot. Doing a tail spin. Unfortunately, I thought he was going for another one, but he does not do that in this game. That's a really old Jin type thing where he would only do double spins, unless it's like regular Rathalos, which does do that. And it might just be a low rank thing that I'm thinking of, low and high rank. But this is, you know, G rank, Deviant. He's not just going to do very predictable patterns all the time. Right. Spins around, boomerang out. There's a fireball. Gonna throw 2 out here. Need to reply our buffs. He's gonna do his combo. Maybe? Nope. He's just doing a tackle. Alright, I'm glad that actually didn't go off, because that might have put us in a position to be hit by that. I did try to do the inputs to apply our buff, but it did the weird guard cancel animation. Alright, couple of boomerangs at the face here. I'm gonna spin, bit greedy, but we're gonna be in a good position to dodge the next attack if I can get my input in, but I did not. I was very lax on that. We don't like that. Alright, 2 boomerangs there on that left wing, or right wing, his right, our left. Here comes the bot combo, maybe? Yes. Dodge into the back of that. Now we'll be able to punish this wing here, and we get the break. Now, ideally you're getting those wing breaks in the air because that will throw him on the ground. However, we didn't get it here, so it's fine. Sometimes it just works out like that. You can't really tell how much health the wing has. If you could, it'd be a very different game. You would just, you know, save the part break damage for as long as possible. I mean, you can still do that. You can only attack the wings while he's in the air. That does work, and you can still get wing staggers and whatnot in the air whenever he's like that. It might just be regular staggers as well, not just specifically on the wing. However, that is a somewhat reliable way to get a down. That isn't just, you know, going for KOs or topples or whatnot if you have the ability to do that. Or flash bombs, because of course we can't use flash bombs. We apply our big boomerangs, not focusing on us. He is now focusing on us. He had very poor aim there and went completely over us. I don't know if monsters can distinguish between a hunter's hitbox and a prowler's hitbox, so that's probably why he went over us. I don't think they can. If they could, it'd be a very, once again, very different game if they actually could tell the difference. Because you can't just go under boulders and stuff, so makes some sense. And it would be a little weird if they could. Such a nice advantage to get, though. Just kind of piercing along through here. I think we want to focus on the head now. We can do that big powder stone fireball into the air. Now he's doing his homing attack, so I want to wait. Get out of the way of my Palicos. Binka is following me, but he didn't get hit by it, I believe. Actually, he may have. He's on very low health. But the one who was using Go Fight Win, I wanted to preserve a little bit longer so he could get that dance out. Keep going for the face here. We're getting some good hovers. He's going to enrage now. This fireball shouldn't hit us. It really just does go in front of him. It's a very large fireball, granted, but it's still not terrible. Now, this is greedy, but he's down to 30% health. Hopefully, this goes out in time. I don't mind taking the damage. We are using our Dreadqueen armor as well, which gives us massive fire resistance. Thunder resistance actually is maybe a little low. Maybe not, though. I don't think it is here. I think his type resistances are a bit different in that regard. But there's only one Thunder monster here. We don't have to worry too much about that. I'm going to dodge that Wind Press from the flying tackle that Rathalos did. Now we've got to be careful here. Single lightning attack. Rathalos did his homing attack. However, his homing attack missed, which is good. It's a fireball. I'm going to throw one out here, dodge into this fireball. Good. Getting very light chip damage. Didn't pay attention to Astalos. However, we aren't punished as poorly whenever we don't pay attention to Rathalos. We don't get as punished whenever we do that compared to the Barioth hunt. Because, well, again, he can't close distances more so than Rathalos can. It's not going to be as punishing because he's not just completely ruthless as much as they would like you to believe with his ecology stuff and whatnot. Alright. Dreadqueen is now exhausted, so that's good for us. We're going to get some good animations where we can just kind of not have to worry too much about his attacks. We do still have to worry about Astalos, of course, but it's a lot easier to only focus on them when there's only one of them. However, the instant tackle, a classic Rathalos move and Rathian move as well, can still happen whenever he's exhausted, so you're not completely safe. In fact, he's probably more likely to do it here since he can't really do much else. I'm expecting something to happen. We're going to get whacked by the tail, but that's fine. Dodge that little slam. You know, swipe him in the face, boomerang out, dodge forward. We're going to get blocked by the hitbox though, so we want to get really far. Another dodge on the wing slam from Astalos, which is good. And we're also getting some good clipping damage, which works for us on Astalos. Make his hunt go marginally faster, if any. Depends on how long it actually takes us to get rid of Dreadqueen here. Dodge out of the way here. I do want to heal probably at some point. I thought I was out of the range of that Powder Stone Fireball. I was not. Don't linger in there for too long. And I may have actually been on low enough health where the heat killed me, because it still does do heat damage. I don't know if you can negate that with a cool drink. We can't, obviously, because we are not like that. You might need something like heat resistance, or I think bomb resistance. Bomb heat resistance is for cats. Hunters, you might just actually need a specific armor skill for that, which means in older games it's not worth going for, and even in newer games you're probably not worried as much about the lava damage. Like, it's just not worth it. Alright, here comes the slam. Dodge into that. Boomerang out here. Should be getting fairly close. There's the range on that bot being shown in full force here. This is greedy, but we're going to go for it. We're going to go for a heal too. In fact, never mind. I thought we still had go that win. Alright, you're still not doing the right thing, so I'm going to go after him while he's not focusing on me. You're going to focus on me and probably do your fun thing, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it as a chance to heal. Alright, he roars. We still have earplugs, so we just get to ignore that. I'm going to dodge that for some distance. That probably wasn't smart. I could have just ignored the roar and dodged into the wing slam. But I was hoping my roll would get enough distance to safely dodge it. However, it really wasn't. Alright, should be good to dodge the lightning there. Dodge along with Rathalos here. Hopefully that doesn't hit me. Okay, no, but they are comboing, so we still need to be careful. You know, ahead and heal this off. And I do believe, and I've said this before, but I like to repeat a lot of stuff, that your soothing roll does heal stun chance. So as long as it's not like 100% stun move, as long as you heal before you're getting hit too often, you should be able to heal that off and not have to worry about it happening. Even if you're comboed constantly outside of your rolls, as long as you're using them somewhat consistently, you shouldn't be worried about that. And you can even wait for your stun tolerance to get very low and then just use it and then have that. It's not a thing you can focus on, because I still believe it is just a chance thing. Like, it's not always guaranteed. So you could just, you know, get really unlucky and, like, after the fourth hit, be stunned. But it is still something you can, you know, if you've been comboed a couple of times, you can just go ahead and use Soothing Roll and not have to worry about it. I'll just homing attack here. It's really favoring that today. He doesn't normally do that. Fireball. I don't want to attack here because Astalos is looking at me. We're going to wait and see what he does. I'm going to just keep waiting. There's not really any good openings here. Couple of attacks here. We'll dodge into the tail sweep. Waiting to see what Astalos is doing. He's doing a thunder tackle there, so I'm just going to stay off to the right here. Couple more boomerangs there. Now our friend Rathian should be going down. I'm very glad we got that dodge off because I wasn't sure I was mashing B there. I didn't know if we would have enough cooldown there to actually dodge it. Alright, a couple more boomerangs there. Need to get piercing back up. This is going to be obviously the hardest part of the hunt. Dreadqueen is tanky, so she's going to still be taking a lot of hits because she just isn't that weak particularly. And especially if you're trying to, you know, get rid of the wing health and also just cut off the tail or break the wing or tail spots at the very least, you're going to be dealing less damage than just, you know, going for the head and only for the head. And she moves around quite a bit, so it's not something you can easily focus on as well, unless you're like head sniping or whatnot. Alright, this is not a great position to be in, so we're gonna try to get out of the way of that. I dodged way too early, but it's fine. And remember, it's just a regular Astalos, so we don't have to really put too much up against him whenever we actually start fighting him, which is now. There's a wing slam, he's doing another one, so we'll just throw one boomerang out there. Gonna try to back away a couple of boomerangs here. He's going into the air, so we'll punish that with one boomerang. Try to stay away from these lightning strikes. He's gonna slam down. I don't know how far that hitbox extends down below him. I don't think too far because we were obviously safe there. It's not like Nergigante where it just kind of rains down spikes whenever he does his super attack. Alright, he's gonna enrage. I don't think you go into the air. He does go into the air there, but I think that's specifically for that attack. However, this is a great attack for us to deal damage with. He'll land pretty close to where he actually does the attack from, a little bit further back, so that's where you'll want to actually aim it. I just kind of forgot. That did hit us. I thought we were going to be out of range of it, but I'm making some bad calls today. It's fine, though. I don't mind fading a couple of times in solo hunts because it's not completely dire. Alright, get back away. We'll try to do a little better here. One boomerang out. He's looking at us. We'll wait. Wing sweep. Just going to dodge that in case it does hit us to be safe. Couple of boomerangs there. This is going to hit. Never mind. That one will, though. We'll dodge into it. Swipe out. Boomerang out. He's into the air, so we'll punish him. He's going to do the slam. Just go ahead and dodge into that. You can probably use the thunder as a good way to gauge where the hitbox actually is, so that's something you can look at. You do that into another one, but we should be out of the way as long as we dodge to the direction that he did the first wing slam in. Back into the air. Doing this little thunder volley into the slam again. That's great for us. I don't think this is safe, but I am going to try it and just see if it gets off. I don't think it is. He just did a great sequence of animations there for us to actually punish. Alright, he's going to enrage once more. And he does not go into the air, so he can't just always safely throw a mega boomerang whenever he does get enraged. There might be enough time there, but I'm not sure. Might depend on what range you're at. Alright, two boomerangs here. Get a nice knockdown, and that is a very common Astalos thing, especially since, once again, it's not hyper, so you're not dealing with that bloated health pool and bloated stagger limit. Oh, did my quick turn wrong there. There we go. This is a little lightning volley into a thunder tackle. Go for those wings while they're a little bit charged at the very least. Alright, doing the wing sweeps. Just dodging along with that. Get a little distance here, so that way it takes him a bit of time to get to us. If he does just decide to do a very quick tackle or something like that. That didn't expect to hit me, but it's fine. We'll dodge into the second one. Probably would have been fine to just ignore the second one if I'd stayed on the ground. However, it's fairly easy to telegraph as long as you're not, or read the telegraph. Let me say it like that. As long as you're not in the middle of an attack animation. Alright, we'll pierce all the way along. He's getting enraged once more. He really likes to scream here, which is great for us. Just spin here. We're going to actually try to get behind him so he doesn't do stuff to us. He can do a tail attack from there that, you know, does the little lightning bolt. So I want to try to keep that in mind while we're attacking him from the back. This is a bit greedy. It shouldn't be too terrible, though. That thunder damage isn't too much against us. We can just slam. Just dodge into it. Go to the side. Throw a couple boomerangs from behind. I'm going to throw one more since it's taking its sweet time getting to us. Get away from that thunder tackle. We have go fight win again, but I think I want to save some of that health. Alright, wait for this tackle here. I'm going to go ahead and start healing. We're not saving our health, we are saving our gauge for Dreadqueen. Out of the way of that, we'll go ahead and punish. Alright, one more boomerang here. We're gonna just focus on dodging. Good. Two more. Do a spin. It's gonna go into the air. It's doing that little thunder tackle. Now, this might actually be a good chance for that animation. In fact, he might... Okay. He's like, exhausted at the very least. He might always do that little taunt after the slam. I want to say that's something he does do. If I can speak. I've not been speaking very well today, though. I don't normally do that, though. Alright, falls over. Go ahead and apply piercing. Want to at the very least use some gaze so we're not just completely wasting it. Nice, we get a tail cut. Go ahead and punish that. He's going to growl at us. Get a face break, too, which is good. I believe we've broken both wings too, which is also really nice, so we're pretty far along. Boomerang here. Yeah, just keep throwing some stuff at him while he's just kind of doing those melee attacks. I'm going for the arms, which actually aren't great. I should be going for the face while he's like that. Alright, we're going to see if we actually have enough time to hit him here. Not really. I don't feel safe enough with that, especially considering we just got hit. Maybe if I really notice it, or I'm just, you know, not moving or whatnot. Or attacking. That way I have a lot of initiative and actually activating it in time. Alright, he's doing the sweeps. Very good. Couple hits here. He's going into the air, so we have to be careful. Just one little thunderbolt, though. Shouldn't have dodged into it. That's not smart. We'll just wait for him to slam here and dodge into it. That way we can reapply our buff for free. Alright, he's charging up all the way now. And he's now down. Not terrible. 20 minutes for that. It obviously can be done a lot better. Even with our same setup here, I just was not playing very well against them. The majority of the time will be spent against Dreadqueen, at the very least comparatively per monster. Definitely not anywhere near as bad as last time, though, where, you know, the two monsters that we had to fight are very much not friendly to fight. Gammoth has a lot of HP and is just tanky in general, and Barioth is all over the place. Barioth is a fun fight, don't get me wrong, it's just you have to know the fight if you're going to have fun with it. If you don't know the fight, it's going to be a bit more rough. And of course, once you get those claws broken off, then it's a lot better. But the main goal here, once Dreadqueen reappears, or just appears once, is we're going to go for those tail spikes and try to break those off first. That way we're not having to deal with the extra deadly poison. I think it's noxious poison is what it's called. Don't forget you can get mite seeds if you're a hunter here in that little pile. It's not always guaranteed. In fact, it's not always guaranteed to appear there. Might appear in a different spot, but it is still something you might want to keep in mind. I believe nullberries are another thing that you can get from it, and armor seeds as well. But we're going to just go ahead and open up with a couple of mega boomerangs here. That's why we save up our gauge. Pierce all the way along. And we're going to save the rest of this for maybe some good openings later. She's going to get mad. She's going to do a fireball, I think. No, she doesn't. She doesn't do the fireball. I was thinking of a grounded fireball, but no, she just goes into the air. So you don't have to worry about, you know, being hit immediately as she goes into the air. In fact, another similar thing Dreadqueen work. You can just get some nice free damage off. However, her fireballs, or single fireballs, I should say, are much more deadly. They will do the kind of exploding thing that Rathalos' enraged fireball does. Alright, here's the charged wyvern's fire type thing, similar to Gunlet. She'll do a bite that does do fire element damage, and then she'll charge it up and blow it up, which is fairly large, especially if you're doing the EX version of the hunt. I don't know if I want to go for these wings here or not. I think so. Focus on the wings while she's kind of looking at us, and then once we maybe can get behind, she's doing this, so hopefully she does it again. She doesn't do it again. I get hit by the tackle. Okay, we need to reset here and get our bearings because we are not playing correctly. I might be trying to tunnel vision that tail too much, which is not spelling good for us. She's also chasing our palicos all the way around the arena, but that's fine. We can deal with that. But we're going to focus on the tail first and attack the tail stump, not the very end of the tail, because the end of the tail is actually a hard spot. Any damage you do to the base of the tail is still going to add up to the breaking of the spikes and just cutting it off in general, so it's something you still want to aim for. We're going to expect an instant tackle as soon as she looks at us from now on, so it's something we want to just get out of the way of, or make sure we're getting out of the way of. Not a great position here, so I'm just going to attack up, maybe hit the tail while going for the wings. would be a nice thing, but it's not likely to happen. Do get a good flinch already though, so that's very nice. It's just from those 2 mega boomerangs at the start of the fight. There's a sweep. Sweep is very large, very wide area of range there, so you do still want to be careful of it. Let's get in rage. Good chance for us to use this. Flies backwards, so we'll actually try to counter out there. So you can do a slam into a tail sweep. Obviously applies poison if you get by the tail portion. I don't know if the initial hit from the landing, in fact, it might not even have a hitbox. But if it does, it probably knocks you down, I would assume, hopefully long enough to not be hit by the actual hitbox of the tail. However, we're not going to play around and find out, unless we just randomly get hit by it later on. Keep going for this tail here. And actually dodge to the left. Here comes a sweep into the air. She does have a lot of acrobatic combos, so you need to be careful. And her land and air states are a bit more mixed here compared to some other monsters, so it's not just, you know, easy. Okay, she's on the land. She'll have to do something to take off. If you've played Freedom Unite before, you'll know Rathalos is very rigid in what he likes to do on the ground and in the air. So much so that he's very easily cheesable in that regard, especially if you have like a hammer and can triple pound while he's landing, which does a decent chunk of damage. That game's a bit weird though. We're assuming she does a tail sweep whenever, or she's going to do a tail sweep whenever she gets close to us. Even if she doesn't, most of the attacks that she can do out of the air are going to be a similar hitbox, or at the very least we're going to be out of the way of the hitbox. Or we'll have enough time to actually see the telegraph and dodge it again. Boomerang out here on the face. He's going to do a triple fireball. Nope, just a regular one. Not really too charged up either. Gonna earn rage once more, so another chance for us to get another mega boomerang off, which is great. Might get a wing break here actually, so that's absolutely great. We have not broken the other wing, so we're going to keep focusing. I heard 2 part breaks there as well. So, this is a bit greedy. Oh no, that might hit us back far enough. Never mind, we break the other wing. So that's a bit of a not great play. However, I did want to get that flinch off before we actually got hit. I could have maybe aimed it down the body a little bit more and not hit the wing, but it did save us from an attack. I do believe the tail spikes are also broken, so that's good. We don't have to deal with noxious poison anymore at all. And for the amount of effort you actually have to put into cleaving those off, it's not actually that terrible, because we've only been 5 minutes into the fight, which, you know, not great if you're considering modern standards of Monster Hunter, but in the older games, solo, yeah, it's fine. Especially if you're comparing it to Freedom Unite, which, you know, we were just talking about. All right, here comes the Wyvern Blast again. Gonna get away. I thought we ran out of buff, so we did not though, so that's fine. And from now on, we can pretty much ignore the tail. Yes, you can still cut it if you want to weaken the poison even more. I don't know if you completely weaken it and make sure it doesn't do poison anymore. I think if you get hit by the base, it will still poison you very lightly though. However, I could be wrong on that. I don't remember, and I don't want to find out. Especially considering I don't want to focus too hard on the tail. But as you can see, the poison from that attack is not terrible at all. On to that. Does another one, unlike Rathalos. Do a fireball here, just a single one though, so we get a chance to apply our buff once more. Did have a go without wind buff too, which is nice. There's the scoop. Another thing about the scoop, it is very large, and in the EX hunt, it is also much, much larger because it still has that multiplier on it. So you do still have to be careful. Think of it like Rathalos' Flamebot. It's going to reach out pretty far. Alright, bit greedy there. Shouldn't have thrown the second one. However, she was very merciless, or merciful. The alternate mercy, I guess. Keep going for this face though. She lands immediately, which is nice. We'll be able to throw this out. She's getting enraged. I think we want to save a little bit more, especially considering we just got that flinch, so she's not going to go into the air. We'll definitely try to punish any air attacks or whatnot whenever she goes back into the air though, with a mega boomerang. Okay, this is sketchy, so we're going to try to just disengage from it. Keep doing some damage. There we go! I forget that it's 2 away and not 1 away. I don't know why I forget that, but it's something I do forget. Alright, that might miss most of the hits unless she moves right in front of me, and then that's fine. Wait, land into it? No, it went too far and under the ground. It's fine though. Good chance to actually hit the tail, so this is a great spot for the tail because you don't really have any other great hit spots. And I believe now that we have broken the spikes off, the tail is actually soft entirely. So it's those spikes that's actually pretty hard. However, once again, you can just circumvent actually having to hit those by hitting the base of the tail, which is very nice. This is a bit greedy. She shouldn't aim at me. She's not looking like she's aiming at me at the very least, and she was not, in fact. So that's good. We actually had a chance to get even more damage off. And once again, the more Mega Boomerangs you can get off in a hunt, the more damage you are absolutely doing, and the much less time it's going to take. It's just that good of a move. Alright, she's doing this. This actually reaches around, so we're going to try to back away from it. We didn't actually back away, we just moved to the right, but we weren't hit by it, so that's good. And we did just activate frames too. This is a bit greedy, but I still want to get this off. That is a very lengthy animation, so even if she does an instant tackle, that should still go off even if we get hit, but she didn't even do that. Could have thrown another one out there, but I didn't want to. Wasn't thinking about it enough. Not paying enough attention to our animations, which is not good. We don't want to be doing that too often. Alright, charge a boomerang here, a couple of them. Touch to the left, she's going to do a Wyvern Blast. That shouldn't hit us, so we're able to punish pretty nicely here. I have a feeling our face is going to break pretty soon. I don't know why, because it has a lot of health. But, I don't know, just get that feeling. Keep going for the wings. Well, you know, they're the part in front of us. She's doing this, so we'll dodge that. Get way out of the way. Prioritize getting out of the way there of the blast. I don't know how much damage it does. Probably quite a bit since it takes so long to come out, but it could be a weird thing where the EX version does a lot more while the regular version does just, you know, a decent amount of health. I don't think it does one-shot us, especially with our fire resistance, even though that doesn't contribute too much because it still has a raw side of damage. But it is still something to think about. And of course, if we don't have to get hit, we don't want to be hit. Alright, here comes the slam. Alright, this is very close for this to go off, but I think we'll still be fine. And she didn't even do a fast attack there, so we're perfectly fine. There we go. Now she's exhausted, and we have the Go Fight Wind buff, which is great for us. Get another flinch. We'll go ahead and try to get this one out. She's going to look at us, probably tackle. Okay, so we will not get that out. It's fine, though. Okay. And disengage. She's doing the helicopter. Fire big boomerangs. Dodge away from the little grab there. I believe that is a pin. I'm not going to actually do Mega Boomerang, though, because I believe our piercing boomerangs are going to run out pretty soon. We'll be poisoned. That's fine, though. Again, it's not terrible poison. Just a little bit. Our cat will heal us quite nicely, and in fact, we healed. I don't know why we healed. It may have just been that poison doesn't last very long. That specific type, but we don't have it anymore. Okay. Great chance for us to do this. We're going to aim it way up, since she's going to back up into the air. Get some nice damage off. However, we still need to be careful of that. Not that. That was really good, actually. We really like to see that, but the tail flip that I think she was fixing to do. Here comes the sweep. Goes all the way around. She places a little mine. That mine is something I completely forget about half the time other than just seeing it. It's hardly a thing, and it lasts for so short of a period of time. I do believe it does apply noxious poison when you don't cut the barbs off the tail. You can use a different word each time for them. But it doesn't last for long enough. There's an attack that specifically does that. I believe the tail does still damage you there, but it's not enough to really worry about. Dodge that. Certainly not as lethal as her flips and whatnot. There we go. I don't think you can damage it. Not in the traditional sense, of course. I think sometimes it drops stuff. In fact, there's a shiny over there where one of them was before. That's what I'm thinking of. You can't break it, but it will drop stuff occasionally. Which, you know, depending on the part you might need, it might be something you want to go for. I'm going to dodge here. It's doing a lot of tackles that are instant, so we want to make sure we're out of the way of that. Go to the left. Punch to the right. Good. That was actually a bit risky. Should have dodged earlier. Gonna dodge into this though. Don't even activate the hitbox, so that's fine. Keep going for the tail here since it's in front of us. We might actually get a tail cut. This is a great chance for Mega Boomerang. However, we don't even have to worry about it. Because I wasn't going to use it because it was just a little bit too far off. However, she's doing a lot of not smart things here and allowing us to get quite a bit of damage off. Hopefully she closes in a little bit more. I'm not sure what she's doing here. I guess she's done here. She doesn't want to play anymore. She's throwing the game for us. And yeah, remember when I said I had a feeling the face was going to break? No, it didn't. It was nowhere near the amount of time it was going to break. That should be hitting me, or at least attempting to hit me. It's a flinch. The boomerangs on the face. Back up into the air. Alright, here comes a slam into a sweep. Keep going for the wing there, though. And there we go. I want to say that timing was actually better. Probably because I was actually throwing out more mega boomerangs. I'm not sure. That's not very common. I guess I was just maybe a little more clear-headed, not thinking about trying to be too much of a tryhard there, but oh well, it worked out quite nicely. So I'll finish carving her up and I'll meet you back at base. All right, and we are back to the hub. This weapon is not going to be particularly special. I believe it is your best physical poison weapon, so I guess that is something, if I can find it. The Dreadqueen Repair Double Cross. 195 melee, 45 poison, which, okay, yeah, pretty much quite a bit of poison compared to the rest of your options as a melee cat. So, not bad. I just forgot how much it actually had. Negative affinity, I want to say negative 15 or negative 25, one of the two. I think it's negative 25, so not great, but it can be made up with critical up, small and large, or weakness explode if you're using that. On the physical side, 195 attack, which is fine, especially with the wipe sharpness. However, comparing that to your your Deadeye fan, has purple sharpness, which I still think the raw is maybe a little bit lower comparatively to the Dreadqueen Repair. However, you do not have negative affinity, you actually have positive 10% affinity, which is nice. And you have 35 poison, which is, you know, a little bit more, I believe 10 more than the, or 11 more technically, but not enough to actually matter on the Dreadqueen Repair. So not a ranged weapon, but it's made to be melee. That's really what it's made for, which is pretty nice. We're not going to be making it, but if you want it, you can. As for the armor, it's one of the lower tiered ones. It is going to be 162 defense, so not terrible, not great. Resistances are probably, in fact, very similar to Dreadqueen. If I can look here. 8, 4, and 0, so a little bit more water resistance, but I mean, it's swapping your ice and water resistances and probably your thunder and dragon. Yep. It's exactly what it is. So, up to you if you want to make it, but it's not going to be your best armor by far. Alright, and that is it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a comment below and maybe consider subscribing. Until next time, bye.